All right, welcome to episode 5 of Arguing Sports with Cody Mitchell.
Billy Laughlin.
In today's episode, Joel Embiid is making a fool of himself on Twitter again. We're going to rank the East. Who would you rather have, Love or Wiggins? And the Wizards are making a massive move in the East to overtake the top teams. All right. Billy, would you ever shout out to Kim Kardashian on Twitter? Keep in mind, your girlfriend is standing 20 feet away from us.
I'm not a ball player or a rapper, so she wouldn't be attracted to me. But maybe Joel, he plays ball. Well, not yet, but
it's possible. Anyway, Joel Embiid, after his famous recruitment of LeBron and the failure at that, he then tried to get Kim Kardashian to talk to him in his direct messages on Twitter when he was promptly told by thousands of fans that she was married. He then apologized on Twitter and said, "I'm sorry, I didn't know you were married." Never mind.
Does he not watch TV?
Apparently not.
Too much basketball
Does he
playing.
understand English?
Probably not.
I'm not sure. Anyway.
He got turned down by Kim and LeBron.
Oh, man. LeBrashian. Technical difficulties. All right. Now, bigger question. Who would you rather have, Love or Wiggins?
Wiggins he's doing good in the summer league, but Kevin Love has been averaging 25 and 13 for a season. I'm gonna take the best big man in the game.
But with somebody with as much upside as Wiggins, do you just give that away?
Yeah.
For a Wiggins, somebody that could be, LeBron is in the prime of his career right now. That prime comes and goes fast. So 4 or 5 years down the road, when Wiggins isn't even in his full prime yet, LeBron's going to start to slow down and start to think about retirement. Well, then you've got Kyrie, who will be in his prime, and Wiggins will be right there at his prime. Those are two players that...
Well, Wiggins can always come back.
Tristan Thompson, don't forget about him, too. I mean, those 3 players right there. But, do you just give away a player like Wiggins?
Bye. Kevin Love.
I don't love Kevin Love.
He can do everything. He can rebound. He's one of the best rebounders, one of the best three-point shooters, one of the best full-court passers.
Now, what would you think if he doesn't give that commitment to the Cavaliers? They give away Wiggins. They go for a 1-year shot. They bank on re-signing him. He's a free agent. His old teammate in Oklahoma City calls him up. Says, just like college, let's get back together. So then he recruits him. What happens there? Then you just gave away the number 1 pick, a very good player with a huge upside, to be an all-star in this league for 1 year of a possible failure. I'm not saying it will be, but a possible failure attempt for a championship run.
You got to get up for your little fantasy of everybody in the league playing for Oklahoma City Thunder.
I'm just saying. He goes to the Lakers. Phil Jackson calls him. He goes to the Knicks.
You know who plays for Cleveland? LeBron.
Who? Kyrie?
And Kyrie.
Didn't James Jones?
And Mike.
I heard he's also put out a phone call to Mo Williams West.
I don't want him back.
and Cephalosha. He's trying to get the whole crew back together now.
Brian Scalabrine.
Yeah, Scalabrine.
No, not Brian.
He didn't see him.
Walt something. Man, it was a long time ago.
Zydrunas
Ilgauskas. He works with Cleveland, but as like a coach, it's a scouter type. Yeah. He works with the team, like Scottie Pippen does with the Bulls.
No, he didn't. He's a horrible scout.
Scout LeBron.
No. Apparently, whose decision was it for them to take Anthony Bennett number 1 last year? When they could have had Oladipo or Ben McLemore right there, or Otto.
Otto.
People aren't giving him the credit he deserves. He just didn't get a whole lot of playing time last year. He was hurt part of the year, and You know, people had career years ahead of them, but we'll get to Washington.
Well, they had a good number one pick this year, and then with Kyrie Irving, and they did draft the best player in the league today with number one.
Right, this time.
But
even though
then it was a horrible choice.
Even though, you know, like Jay Billis, very widely renowned and respected college basketball analyst, knows his players, said that to him Jabari Parker was more NBA ready, but that Wiggins was the better player. So Jabari 1-2 years, he's good. Wiggins 3-4 years, he's good. That's what I'm saying. You know, they trade away Wiggins. I don't see Wiggins just coming back with open arms after they send him to Minnesota for the next 4 years
playing
of his
Rubio,
career.
Lob City. He'll get so
apparently
many points.
Rubio wants a max deal now.
He don't deserve it.
I know he don't deserve it, but he said it.
That would boost Wiggins' career and confidence if he played for Minnesota because he would be the number one option.
Well, and I guess too, he could sign a short-term deal with 3 years.
It's a 3-year deal.
3-year deal. So he could go in on the back end of Carmelo's 5-year deal and play in New York with Phil Jackson.
Even if Kevin Love does not, well, I'm trying to say, even if Kevin Love does not want to play with Cleveland, there's a lot of people who wants to play with LeBron. Carmelo wanted to play with LeBron, but of course LeBron didn't want to stay in Miami. He wanted to go home.
Why couldn't LeBron went to the Knicks?
Nobody wants to play for the Knicks.
Carmelo does, apparently.
Well, he's not a winner.
Patrick Ewing did.
Well, look at him.
I mean, David Starks, I'm just saying. Or John Starks, I'm just saying.
And they're not champions.
That was our other argument that
people want to be champions. You think about Otto Porter right now. What does he want to do in the NBA? What do you think he wants more than anything? What is Chris Paul, who doesn't have a ring? What is he says he has his family, he has friends. He doesn't want nothing else besides the championship.
Then you shouldn't have signed a long-term deal with the Clippers. That's what I say to him.
If Clippers can somehow knock off, which I think they can beat Thunder.
I think he needs.
In a 7-game series.
I think he needs to take the money that he got from the Clippers and hire whoever makes the trophy to make a trophy for him. That's the only way he's gonna get it. In LA.
They had Thunder beat last year if they didn't get bad calls on them.
Oh,
I'm telling you.
No.
And if they somehow beat the Spurs, somehow.
No,
and then they could have probably beat Miami. They're a championship team. They got to play Thunder and Spurs to get there.
And Golden State.
Well, they can beat.
And
they whoop
and
the Golden
Houston
State.
and Portland.
They
I mean,
them.
Look.
If it wasn't for that Donald Summer thing, they would have beat Golden State in 5 games.
Everybody has said that the West is, the All-Star League. The East is for the past 4 years, the East has been the Miami and Indiana League. But the way it's coming now, the East is turning into more of a powerhouse team or powerhouse league. There's more distribution of power throughout the league now than there was clumped together in all, just like the West. How there's power all throughout the West.
Yeah, you gotta look at it. Like last year, who's the 7th seed in the East? Atlanta. They couldn't have beat the Grizzlies.
Couldn't beat the Mavericks. Couldn't beat Portland. Couldn't have beat Clippers, Golden State, Oklahoma City, San Antonio.
We think the 4th seed next year will be the Pacers. Can the Pacers beat the Trailblazers in a 7-game series?
It depends if they have that chemistry that they had
3 years ago. Yeah.
I mean, that was before Stevenson was the factor that he was. And with Evan Turner stepping in, we would assume to that role they might make another signing, but there's really not any 2 guards left.
CJ Miles.
That's about it. I mean, that's still not... He's not no Stevenson, but unless they make a big trade, it's going to be Paul George's team.
And David West can score.
He can score. And David West, in reality, is more of a factor than Roy Hibbert has been. If Roy Hibbert gets back to playing like he was...
0-0.
Now, if he gets back to at least the 10-10 guy, that he should at least 10-10.
That's horrible.
I mean, that's minimum. At least 10 points, and you get some rebounds. Just like maybe a block. Average a half a block a game. That's still not bad.
That's not a center. That's like a small forward number. That's Luol Deng numbers.
That's what I'm saying. That's the minimum that he should be getting. In reality, he should be scoring He should be getting
When he was playing
20 and 10.
Miami in 2012 in the playoffs, Eastern Conference Finals, it was a 20 and 10 and getting 3 blocks a night.
And that's what he needs to get back to playing. And if he does, then that shoots the Pacers up the ladder. But from right now, we have to go off of what he was at the end of last year.
You're only as good as your last fight.
Exactly. So, but the East, the distribution of power in the East
has spread out
significantly in the past 5 days.
Now, I said it like a few weeks back. Before it happened, I told you Stevenson's going with the Charlotte.
You did. And I do like that move. Now, more than just that, we look at Washington has traded for DeJuan Blair.
Yeah,
they have signed
Paul
Pierce.
And Paul Pierce.
They've signed Paul Pierce, and that right there, and they lost Trevor Ariza, and they got Pierce.
Which I think is...
And not to mention that they have Glenn Rice Jr., they've got Otto. They've got Blair now, Gortat, Nene, Beal, Wall.
Wall is the team.
I mean,
they're only going to go as far as Wall take them.
People are not looking at this team like a contender. And in my eyes, they are.
They're a contender.
They are a legitimate contender in my eyes.
They're a contender until they run up against Chicago.
I don't know.
And Cleveland.
I mean, this is a young team. And
it is a young team.
I mean, Nene and Gortat can bang around in the paint with Noah and Gasol.
One-on-one, Kyrie and Wall, Kyrie's on win.
I mean, look at Derrick Rose and John Wall. I mean,
Derrick Rose is fast, but John Wall is faster.
This conversation is based on Derrick Rose 3 years ago.
Derrick Rose last
MVP Derrick Rose. I mean,
don't say that.
If he plays like he is the biggest, most physical brute point guard. He's not the fastest, but he's the most physical.
I wouldn't say he's on over Russell Westbrook.
He's not that physical. Derrick Rose is bigger.
He's bigger, but Chris Paul is big and strong.
And he's got a mustache. So
who?
Derrick Rose.
He has a little.
He's got
That's Tiger Woods' little brother.
He's got a Sanchez. Anyway, I see Washington as a legit contender.
All right.
So now this part of the show, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna rank. We're gonna rank the East. We're trying to rank the East. We're gonna talk a little bit more about the West, but we're gonna rank the East, and we're gonna talk about it a little as we go. So, my East right now, in my opinion, whether the trade of Wiggins and Love happens, in my eyes, obviously, with LeBron in Cleveland, it makes them the #1 team. So, whether he's got that
That's
power
the only
forward,
good thing you've ever said about LeBron.
Well, if Durant came to the East, if he went to the 76ers, that would make them the best team in the East.
You going to these 76ers?
But, I like the 76ers. I think they have a bright future. That they are building for the future right now. They're not building for a championship run. They're stashing players overseas.
They better build a building because that's the only future they're going to get.
They're stashing players overseas. They've got Noel that's coming into his first year. They got Embiid.
He's doing really good.
He is. Even though he got blocked by Wiggins, he's got Embiid. That those two are gonna grow up together and play together. They're building for the future, and I really think they have a bright one ahead.
You compare them to Tim and.
Let's not forget about Drew Holiday.
He plays for the Pelicans.
He does play for the Pelicans. Now, that was part of the Noel trade. I'm sorry.
Now, if they did have him.
Yeah, I do apologize. That was part of the Noel trade last year.
Which was retarded.
Right. But to take Embiid this year, it was kind of, you thought that was going to be their center. Now, Embiid's more of a bigger physical guy. You got to imagine he would play more center and move Noel to power forward. But then that doesn't work out as well because Noel's not the scorer. Neither one of them is a scorer.
They don't have any scorer.
I mean, legit, Michael Carter-Williams is about their best scorer.
And he can give you about 16 a night.
But, I mean, Embiid and Noel are both shot blockers and just plain tall. That's really all they are. They're rebounders and shot blockers. So, but they're further down the list. Right now we've got Cleveland #1. To find out #2 in the rest, click on episode 5, part 2.